Hey there, ladies and gents, it's Polydueces, and I'm playing Mists of Pandaria Beta. And they came out with a new patch, and it's introduced pet battles, a new interface in a lot of different places, a whole bunch of new help tips for new players. You can create level 85 characters without having to import like a pre-made. You can just make it 85 right from scratch. What else? They came out with a new dungeon. I'm pretty sure they came out with a new questing area, which I'll cover later on, but because... well, it's not on the map yet. But because the new dungeon came out, I thought I would do that in this video. But before I get started on that, I was going to do like a live like introduction slash instruction of that new dungeon, which is Stormstout Brewery. So let's say that again, Stormstout Brewery. That's better, right? Anyway, so what new things are there? Shield Barrier for Warriors used to reduce magic damage. It was a new ability in and of itself, but its first form was to reduce magic damage. Now it just creates an absorption shield for 6 seconds. The absorption amount is completely equal to your attack power, which stacks awesomely with Vengeance, but basically makes it just awesome for a warrior. We've never had an absorption before, and I love it. It's an incredible new feature. What else did they change? There's a whole bunch of stuff that I noticed earlier. Let's see if I can actually remember there. It doesn't really show anymore here. Let's see if I can find a new window that I haven't opened up yet. No, I've opened those up. U? No, that's not one. P. L. Maybe it'll show up on another character. I'll do that later though. So yeah, so what I'll do is I'll probably do a dungeon video for each of the new tank, or not new, but each of the tank classes, so people who are interested in tanking like me can see all the changes that they've made to each tanking class, instead of just reading it online. Nothing new here. I'm trying to remember. When I logged in, I was so confused because they had changed a bunch of things, but now it seems all normal to me. I've only been online for like an hour. Yeah, so I guess whatever. Not the point. Pets. Yes. Here's your new, this is mounts and pets. When you press P, there's no mounts or pets down here. There's your core abilities, professions, spell books. Core abilities is, of course, the abilities that all warriors get no matter what spec. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. But then again, do I have Mortal Strike? Like I said, I just logged in. It doesn't look like I have Mortal Strike. It's all in alphabet. No, it's not in alphabetical order. Mortal Strike. Doesn't look like I do. So I just assumed that core abilities was just all of the abilities that everybody gets, but that doesn't seem to be the case, because Mortal Strike is not available to everyone. That's a Mortal or Arms specific ability. Anyway, that's not really important right now. I'll sort that out later. Let's see here. And so these are the mounts. Of course, this is not a pre-made character. This is actually my character, so it actually has 101 mounts. Yeah. Pet journal is I'm not sure if it's broken or something. 0 to 500 pets. Yeah, lots of pets. They weren't kidding when they said they were adding new ones. But anyway, what I was going to show you here is you can actually view every single pet. And when some of them, as you click on them, it shows you their abilities, what it's good against, what it's bad against, kind of thing. Get info from the vendor Briony in Crystal Song Forest for 50 gold. Like, you can... everything. Beasts deal 25% extra damage below half health, and all their abilities. That's really cool. Some of them, as you can see, I'm pretty sure this would just be like a non-combat pet. Maybe not. I don't know how Balloon would do damage, but that can't be the case, because I'm sure a fox would be a combat pet. I'm sure the kids won't. You know, whatever. Yeah, Azure Whelpling, that has to be a combat pet. Why wouldn't it be? Anyway, so there's the whole list. But I have like 80 pets in the game, and it's telling me I have none. So I can't summon any of my pets. But that's fine. I'll just I'll leave it alone for now. It'll sort itself out. Maybe I have to, just for the beta, they just made a clean slate for all pet battle people. I lose all my BlizzCon pets and stuff, but you know, whatever. And collector's edition stuff. Anyway. So yeah, let's just get right into it, why don't we? So the first time I did Stormstout Brewery, when I first logged back in, the game had just defaulted me to no stance, so I actually tanked it, not in defensive stance, which 15% increased damage taken. I was able to be critically hit, and I wasn't causing as much threat. It was funny though, because obviously it's not scaled very well, or I'm just really well geared, which I know I'm not, because even without that stance, I was having no problems tanking. So anyway, I think it's time to get in there and show you guys just what's up ahead for the Stormstout Brewery. Also, I only have 2 choices now, but the scenarios are only available at level 90. I found that out just reading online, and it's good to know, right? So yeah, let's get right into it. Specific dungeon, of course. Alright, so the game crashed me the instant, sorry about that. So the game crashed me the instant I wanted to queue. Imagine that. Let's try again, shall we? Stormstout Brewery, find group, queued as tank. Hopefully it'll go through. It did. There's the new little interface there. I'm not exactly sure what that means. There's an X down there. Leader, check mark, question mark. I don't know what that all means. I mean, I know what each symbol means, but I don't know why all of them are showing. But, you know, whatever. Getting right in. So just like in Temple of the Jade Serpent, there's a vendor at the very beginning, but this vendor is not a repair vendor. They're just like they sell food. So that's this vendor right here. Yeah. Anyway, that's super important. So what's happening here at the very beginning, I gotta make sure I don't fall behind for my party members, is these monkeys are all having a party. So we have to take out the brawlers and all the partiers and just interrupt enough monkeys. Oh, are they even gonna come here? I hope so. We just have to turn off music here. I'm sorry. So we just have to interrupt enough monkeys to provoke the boss to come in. It doesn't take that long. There's almost no effort, because more than half of the monkeys are either non-elite or they're sleeping next to explosive barrels. So you can actually just hit the explosive barrels. If you're too close, of course the barrels will hurt you, and it'll instantly kill them. So, additionally, what you got here is a bar. That bar is just showing you how many monkeys you have left to interrupt. Because you don't actually have to interrupt all of them for the desired effect. You only have to interrupt a certain amount. And there's going to be surplus, but they'll all disappear once the boss has been downed. Well, not so much downed, but interrupted. Not interrupted. Engaged. That's the word. I know English good. So this room here, this is where the barrels are. You just walk up to the barrels, and yeah, clobber it. It stuns you for minor damage, no big deal. Or you can throw it at him. You know, things go boom. It's good. So as you can see here, there's some elites, and there's also the rest of them are non-elites. There's no really big threat for you to engage these mobs. It doesn't really matter if people pull threat, which the monks always do when they do that weird spinning kick thing, but you know, you gotta do with what you can. Hiya! So basically, as I said before, they're non-elites. There's going to be these monkeys up on top of those like containers, and basically what they're doing is throwing barrels at us, and you can choose to actually jump on top of the barrel while it's rolling around and direct it into a group. And if you direct it into a group, it'll hurt the group. The same is true for the boss. We'll get to that in a second here, because this is about to end. The meter's about to be filled up here. So yeah, so you jump on top of it, you can actually move it around after that. Here's the first boss, Ook-ook, and he gets right into it, right off the bat. As soon as he jumps down, that fight has started. So he does that stun there. You gotta make sure if you're the tank to face him away from the group. That's a standard procedure for any tank, really. But if you're new to it, you might not know that. So you'll see barrels just constantly get tossed around. Even as the tank, you can choose to hop on top. And additionally, he'll do this ground pound thing right in front of him. And it's just like Ozrock in, what's it called? Stonecore. As he's casting it, you can run away, get out of the line of sight, and he'll just do it in a frontal cone. And if you don't run away, it'll stun you. It does very small damage, actually, and basically no big deal. Oh, yes, I managed to avoid it there. It's sort of hard for me to talk and play the game at the same time, but I seem to be managing pretty good here. But yeah, these fights are going to be pretty tuned down, I'm sure, for the first while. After this boss, oops, oh, I managed to avoid it. Yeah, there we go. Down him, nothing good for me. Alright, let's greed that. Go into my sound and see if I can turn it down. It's already pretty low, isn't it? Hopefully that's pretty good. So all the monkeys that are left are just going to die. These guys don't even engage you. They just die instantly once Ook-ook's down. There's the map. Why is it big? I don't know. Going out here, this is when we get to meet the vermin. And this is a gauntlet event. So basically you have to keep running. If you don't keep running, they're just going to keep coming. And they're all non-elites. They're very, very weak. And it's very easy to deal with all of them. The DPS are going to be very... Are they going to keep up with me? I hope they do. They're always so interested in doing as much damage as they possibly can, but at the same time there's no damage meter, so why are you so concerned with the damage? I don't even know. What's hurting them so badly back here? I don't even know. So these big vermin, as you can see, they're carrying huge bats, or like, not bats, hammers on their back, and what happens is when they die, they drop it, and then you can pick it up. I have one here. You smash, and it knocks all the surrounding vermin in the air. The big guys won't necessarily die, but it'll put them out of the combat for a second here. The party keeps stopping. This is very frustrating. You gotta keep going. It's very important that you keep going throughout here because, yeah, if your healer is not really paying attention, or if your DPS are dumb, mine are sort of dumb. They're halting to use the stupid hammers constantly, but it's no big deal. So you get in here. This is actually the boss arena, and just like the previous boss, the boss will come out and just engage you right away. And there's nothing you can really do about that. He comes to that big barrel, you see that there he is, he lands, and the fight's already begun. So this is, lots of stuff are happening in this fight. As you can see, there's lots of vermin in there, so what they're going to do is they're going to come out, and as the tank, you have to pick them all up. It's no big deal. Small vermin come out, and big vermin come out, and the big vermin drop those hammers, right? Those maces. I don't know why I keep calling them hammer. Oh, I thought I said bat. Man, I'm all over the place right now, aren't I? Anyway, so here come the vermin. As you can see, he did that whirlwind. That's like in, what's that? Utgard Pinnacle. There's a boss in Utgard Pinnacle that whirlwinds around, and you can actually taunt him and everything. This is exactly the same mechanic as that boss. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. And then, you know, Elder... What's his name? Wise Marie in Temple of the Jade Serpent. He does that circulatory shooting of water. This rat does the same thing with his carrot breath. And it's basically the same thing. It knocks you back. It does a moderate amount of damage. Really, the big damage dealer in this fight is that Whirlwind, as it's called. Even if you're the tank, I strongly suggest that you run away from it. Now, using that, he keeps spamming that hammer. Using that hammer doesn't do anything to the boss, but it does knock away the ads if you're being overwhelmed by them, because indeed there are quite a bit of ads out here. So that boss is down pretty easily, right? So now, as you can see, there was that monkey, the Hosens at the very beginning, and then there were the vermin, and now we're entering the elemental phase of this instance. And there's going to be a few drunk Pandarians as well. They don't really do anything that I'm aware of. Okay. So these guys have random buffs that they have. This guy has the float ability. I don't know what that does though. I've only done this dungeon once, so I'm just going off of the memory from that. He seems to be mostly magic damage, and I'm sure in heroic this will be quite the challenge. But yeah, on regular they're all cake, really. But for the magic damage enemies as a warrior, that shield barrier ability will really come in handy. So anyway, these ads are very, very useful for finding out what the next boss does, the last boss of this dungeon. Periodically, they will cast, it's like a brew bubble, or let's see if I can see if one of them casts it. You'll see it. It'll conjure up about 8 bubbles around their body, and what happens is you have to actually hit him 8 times to. It's not a damage amount. You have to hit each individual bubble and destroy each individual bubble, and if you don't destroy the individual bubbles, you can't do any damage to them. And it's not like the priest bubble where you can just hit the main target and happy-go-lucky, right? You have to actually target the little tiny bubbles to destroy them. Maybe they just died really quickly or something. Nothing was happening there. They weren't conjuring it up. Maybe these two will do it. They'll also put down a pool of brew, that's all I can call it, at their feet, called carbonation. You gotta stay out of that. Even on normal, it does about 12,000 damage per second, so that's pretty damaging. It's also not interruptible, but you can stun any of these mobs. It's no big deal there. What's this doofus doing? I hate people who don't respect the tank as the bowler, but you know, that's from years and years and years of tanking. You should see those things streaking across my screen. Those are just elementals fleeing the room above, but that's not really anything important. And I'm not sure if they're even fleeing. They're just leaving that room. I don't really know the storyline here. I mean, we did do the quests in Valley of the Four Winds, right? So we do know that the basics of what's going on. But yeah, even still. So, last boss. That was pretty quick. This boss is actually pretty fun, and especially as a warrior, I can take out that bubble barrier like in one hit. So, he automatically casts on, not automatically, but very quickly, he casts on everyone this buoyancy buff that makes us really, I forget what it's called. It's like fizzy or something like that, and it lets you jump really, really high, which is important for a mechanic in the fight. He also does that brew bubble, which I'm sure you'll see here. We'll see how it works out here. I forget how long it took for stuff to happen. Oh, there's a little ad. What's this ad doing? Nobody's attacking him, but, you know, whatever. I'm sure the ad is strengthening the boss. There might be different types of strategies to employ for this boss. These ads weren't doing this before, so here we go. What's going on here? Gotta click on a fizzy bubble, see what happens. And I'm flying around in a bubble. Oh, nice. Right, so I guess I'm assuming we can't touch the ground. It's a learning experience for all of us. There are completed dungeon journals for all of this instance, but, you know, where's the fun in that? My damages and... Oh yes, I have a debuff that's hurting allies. If you get the bloat debuff, you have to stay away from everyone. Pretty simple there. It's non-dispellable either from the looks of it. There's lots of ads. Why aren't anybody... Hiya! Oh. Alright, get to a bubble before the ground turns colors. There you go, you're good. Reminds you of the Kael'thas fight from Magister's Terrace. I just put up my absorption shield. Not that anyone even notices. I'm not sure if it has an animation. I'll have to test that out in Stormwind later on. The boss seems to have gained health back, hasn't he? 8.5 million health, it's hard to really judge. I'm assuming that those little ads actually heal the boss. So let's make sure we keep those down and see what else happens. Oh no! Ugh. But yeah, I've never seen this. Obviously, this fight is like the library event in Temple of the Jade Serpent, because this is not the fight I had before. Ooh, execute! Hacha! Yeah! 204,000. I think that's my highest execute yet. At least it's protection. And unfortunately this boss doesn't have loot. But there you have it, folks. That was the first, or not the first, the second dungeon, I guess, in Mists of Pandaria.